Hi guys, Paul here from the Ultimate Personal Trainer and Ascend Performance Coaching. Today we're going to be talking about some business stuff, and the business stuff we're going to be talking about is partnerships and new ventures. Now, one of the things that we learn when we're going into business, particularly as personal trainers, is it's very, very hard to kind of have one income stream, okay? To get to where we want to be. Ideally, we want to have multiple income streams to get to where we want to be in our career and, with the amount of things that we need to do. Because realistically, as a personal trainer, the first thing that happens is our time gets capped out. We are doing sessions every single day, and there's only so much time you have in a day for sessions. There's only so much time that you have in terms of energy for sessions. There's only so much time that people can actually make it to sessions, and eventually it caps itself out, and there's only so far that you can increase your rates. There will be a point where the market tells you no more. So what we need to do as personal trainers is build multiple income streams, multiple streams of revenue. And this is where I talk a lot about the multi-tiered model and lots of other stuff that I've talked about ad nauseum, so I'm not going to repeat here. What we need to be aware of, and this is something that's really, really important, because you're essentially a business owner, people are going to see you as a business owner. They're going to want to partner with you and do lots of different stuff, okay? You're going to get lots of opportunity to partner with people, and lots of people are going to be asking you for your input into things because you've, in effect, successfully run a business, which not a lot of people have done. And one of the most important things that you need to do is learn to recognize people's colors. There's an expression called "a leopard never changes its spots," and this is something that's really, really important for business. And I'm saying this because I've made this mistake so many damn times. It's a me problem that I'm basically going to reiterate to you so it doesn't become a you problem. And in business, one of the things that we see with people is that they will demonstrate who they are very, very quickly. So, for example, in one business opportunity that I was given or was approached about, the person straight up lied about the value of the company. Okay, they lied excessively. This company had 0 customers, had very little IP, had very little actual demand for the IP, and offered it to me and put the value of the company. It wasn't the person who spoke to me, it was someone else who valued it. So I want to be very clear on that, in case they are listening, because not the person who spoke to me, it's the person who valued it, because he was considered to be the expert in the team of business. So we won't worry about that title too much. He valued it $1.2 million. That's a lot of money for a business that has no customers, very little intellectual property, very little growth prospects, and no one actually have committed to signing on the dotted line. I had another business venture come up where I went and met in person, and they totally showed up on the wrong day. Now, these things can happen occasionally, and I totally understand that. But if someone's doing that straight up after rescheduling and moving things all over the place, it's a pretty good sign not to do business with them, because that's what you're going to get throughout the whole thing. So if a client is messaging, this applies to clients too, the client's messaging you at random times, canceling your sessions, and it's not an emergency, they're just all over the place, they are showing you their true colors. It is a really, really simple kind of concept to get the hang of. But the hardest thing about it is it's really hard to say no to people. People, again, are constantly showing you their true colors. So your clients are doing it, your business partners are doing it, your family and friends are doing it all the time. They're showing you who they are in every single little thing that they do. So one of our key skills as a business owner is to be able to identify what those true colors are. So in your first initial interactions with a client, with a prospective business partner, with whoever it is, you will see something that strikes you as a lot at some point. The valuation, pardon me, was something that I found very odd, the actual amount of money, because I have a little bit of knowledge in valuing businesses. I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I have a little bit of knowledge, which I know a little bit of knowledge is very dangerous, Dunning-Kruger effect, etc. But I also know that a little bit of knowledge can also help steer you away from making a big decision. I wasn't using my little bit of knowledge to value a business. I was using it to kind of make sense of what was going on. And that person showed me exactly who they were immediately, straight up off the bat. I just chose to ignore it because I assumed the best in that person. If you have a client who doesn't show up or says they're going to do the work and they don't do the work, they're telling you exactly who they are. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that's the type of expectation that you can have of that person. So if you got a client who swears they're going to count calories and then they're not going to do this, They're going to do whatever you say you do, and then they don't do it. That's exactly who they are. So what we need to do there's two different ways we can look at it. The first one is in business. The first one is with coaching our clients, because we always want to get better. If it's in business, you move away. As hard as it is to move away from potential opportunity, the loss is greater. I would estimate I lost multiple 5 figures in terms of actual capital expenditure into that business, and also many, many hours of time. Now, I was able to also use some of the connections from that to make a bunch of money and do really well, but it certainly wasn't related to the business as itself. The business itself was a big stinking stink hole of money. So that's a problem. So learning to say no quickly to opportunities is a really, really good thing. There's another 2 opportunities that are coming up that I'm going to say no to, potentially 3 in the next month, simply because I'm seeing the colors of the people who are involved. And it's not that they're bad people, don't get me wrong. It's just that that's the expectation of how it's going to be moving forward. So why would I bother maintaining that, which would just frustrate me and also frustrate them, because I probably wouldn't behave in the manner that they expect. Now, with clients, it's a little different. When you see how a client behaves and they're telling you exactly how they are, so you can reduce your expectations for what that client will achieve and will be able to do from what they say. So clients who are people pleasers and they don't do the work, you're going to find out very quickly that they don't do the work. They're simply not committed to the process. They're doing it to make you feel good, and they don't do everything. And then they apologize and make you feel like they're really dedicated. They're simply not. It's as simple as that. They're just not as dedicated as what they say. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't believe there's anything wrong with it. I don't think you should fire the client for it. I think you should just calibrate your coaching to be in line with what that client is actually capable of doing. And they'll probably take it as a bit of an ego hit, but when they understand that they don't have to please you and that they don't have to make these ridiculous promises that they have no hope of keeping in order to make their trainer happy or to progress, they're going to feel a lot happier and they're going to get far better outcomes. So guys and girls, when you are dealing with a new client, please observe anything that happens on quite quickly. People will let you know their true colors in the first 1 to 2 weeks of working with them. In business, the best idea is to out of there as soon as you can. If you think the way that they work is something that you cannot tolerate, and that is very, very quick to be established, move on. If it's a client, taper your expectations so you don't get upset at the client, because the only time we really get bothered by stuff is when our expectations of what should happen get violated, and what we think shouldn't happen is exactly what happens. Thanks heaps, guys. I'll see you soon.